Hope everybody's doing well. I'm sorry it's been a while, but today I'm eating Whataburger. I have a sweet and spicy beef bacon burger and of course French fries from Whataburger. And yes, I'm going to explain my absence. Some of you may already know because some of you have checked in on me. I hope my battery lives. I charged these up in October. Anyway, if it dies, I'll try to remember that light stopped blinking. Sorry. I gotta get all the fries out of the bag. So, a lot's been going on. Sorry. I hope y'all are doing well. Alright, so I'm going to give some detail. It's going to be more of an overview. So if you want more detail, just put in the comments below and I will do so. Like, because this video is not going to be long enough to go into detail of what's happened in the last 2 or 3 months. But all right, I live in Texas. As you know, early October, I guess it was, we had a Hurricane Harvey come through, which was catastrophic for a lot of people. Many homes flooded. Devastation, I'm not lying, it's horrible. Fortunately for me and my children and my immediate family, we've all been blessed and had no problems. But a lot of friends, co-workers did flood and their life kind of was turned upside down. My company's really awesome, just so you guys know. We set up a foundation account. It's like tax-free, like a nonprofit account, and all the employees globally donated money. And so far, the company matched dollar for dollar. So, ooh, I am putting ketchup, dripping it on my burger. Anyway, employee contributions were like over $160,000. Isn't that great? So we were able to pay out to those families that had issues with the hurricane to help them financially, because some had flood insurance, some didn't. It was a nightmare for those people. That's pretty good. Look at this, y'all. This is like their A1 sweet and spicy, but without A1. Really good. I should ask for some pickles. Anyway, the hurricane came and went. You guys know I had a rental house. I had fired the property management company because they weren't getting any showings, so I ended up putting it on myself and trying to list it. I had 10 to 15 calls every day for that house. I'm so hungry. It's like 3 o'clock lunch. Before I was supposed to go to Ireland, I had someone sign a lease. I'm like, this is good. The next day, like on Friday, they were supposed to meet me with the rent and the deposit. So they're like, okay, let's meet at 1. I met them and they had a story instead of money. They had to lend their mom some money. So they can't move in for 2 weeks. I said, okay, well look, I'm not gonna be here for a couple of weeks, so go ahead and put money in my account as a deposit to secure it for 2 weeks. Said, okay, cool. And I told him to do it that day and he didn't. So I said, screw you. You don't get the house. I didn't say it, I just ignored him. I mean, I didn't say anything and he didn't say anything. So when I come back from my trip, I get this text from him that says, hey, this is so-and-so, just so you'll know, I'm still planning on moving in Friday. And I'm like, no, you're not. You said you were gonna deposit money. You didn't. And, you know, I don't like the way this was starting off. So this house is no longer available for you to rent. I had to be honest, because I'm like, I'm not trying to be goody two-shoes, but if you don't have the money and we're starting out that way, I just knew that if I rented to him, I'd be chasing rent every month. So no. Anyway, so when I get back from my trip, I have to deal with that. Not something I wanted to deal with, but okay, so now I go to Ireland. Woohoo! 8 days, something like that in Ireland. So we're off to a start, and I'm telling you, we spent the first 2 nights in Dublin. And personally, was wanted a bar hop, which we did, but I'm not a big drinker. But you know, I had a beer or whatever, and got to experience the culture. But Dublin is a lot like downtown something, like downtown Houston, like a big city. It's more like businesses. So it wasn't really my thing. And then we extended out and started our drive into the country. So we went from Dublin, which is east of Ireland, west, southwest. So we were going towards the bottom. We went to Dingle first, I think. And then we were going to work our way up north and then east and then back down to Dublin, south. That was the plan. Early on, like when we got there, pretty much within a couple of days, there was rumor that a hurricane was going to hit Ireland that Monday. This was probably, we were probably like getting the news probably like on a Thursday night. Thursdays when that rolled around. So the Ireland's only had one other hurricane before, and it's great like the west coast. This was supposed to hit south of Ireland straight through and go straight through. So first time ever they put the country on red alert. It was a big deal for Ireland. Anyway, so we go to all these different places, and I'll tell you detail about Ireland if you want to know, but it was beautiful. It was creepy, like the roads were real narrow. We had a stick shift, and you're driving on the left side of the road, the wheel's on the right side of the road, and the stick shift is on the left. It was kind of crazy, right side of the car. But beautiful. Everybody was so friendly too. So I left here on a Tuesday. We got there on a Wednesday, and we stayed. We got there Wednesday morning. We stayed Wednesday and Thursday night in Dublin, and we left Friday morning, right? So then we go do all these places, and the hurricane, by the time we made it to Donegal, which is further north. So we were south already, and our plan was, well, we'll work north. By the time the hurricane hits landfall, it'll slow down. But they were talking about the speed. It was like 25 miles an hour, how fast it was moving, I think. So we're like, it's going to get as far north as Donegal by Monday, or on Monday when it hits. So we're like, okay, well, it might not be as devastating. So our plan was, we got to this bed and breakfast in Donegal, and we were going to stay the night. Monday morning, there was a place nearby that was on one of the lists of things we were going to see. I'm like, well, let's go see that before the hurricane hits, and we'll come back. It was like 20 minutes away. We'll hunker down for the day. Hunker if it turns into a real hurricane up in that area. And so we're like, okay, cool, that's the plan. And then Tuesday we were going to go up further north, look at some lighthouse and some waterfalls and a Giant's Causeway, all this other stuff. Because we weren't going to leave till Thursday. So we had Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right? Basically Tuesday and Wednesday. Ireland is so small. East to west, probably 6-hour drive. It's not that big. So you can see a lot in a day. So I said, this place that was on the list was this parish. I guess it was parish. It was like some old stone building with a graveyard type thing combined. And we get there, and on the way there, the wind is like whipping. And so there's like a cliff above us, and there's like gravel and little branches and stuff that are rolling off onto the road and onto the car because the wind's picking up from this whole hurricane thing. So I'm like, this is good. It's like 9:30 in the morning. We'll be good. So we get there, and we're pulling it up. I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. It's awesome, right? So it's got like this big old castle thing in the front, and then the building's kind of rectangular. So when we pull up to it, we pull up to the back of it. So you see part of the building, but you don't really see the full view. And I'm all about photography. So the thing I do is take photographs. So I immediately, he goes into the building, and I go to the front of it, and it's got a slight incline. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go as far as I can. There's a stone fence there. Turn around and take the picture, you know, get the front view, good perspective, beautiful building. So on my way down, in Ireland it's cold and wet. So this explains where I've been the last couple months. I slipped, my tennis shoes slipped on the wet grass, and then I fell. And my right leg went front, my back leg went kind of back. And I thought, wow, that was a weird way to fall. So I get up, and then I start traipsing down the hill a little bit more. And I slipped. You know, I'm like, I didn't fall though, but I'm like, good God. Like, I don't remember the hill being that steep. It was probably like this. But anyway, I'm thinking, obviously, these tennis shoes aren't gripping very well, so I need to be very specific about my stepping, my footing. So then I take a few more steps and I fall again. But this time I kind of fall like forward, and I just heard crack. And instantly I'm on all fours, screaming, crying, and I'm yelling to my guy to get over to me. And he's nowhere to be found. I felt like I was in that movie where they say, you can scream but no one will hear you. Because I was screaming. And just so you'll know, it might have hurt, but I don't remember. Instantly my head went to my lower leg bone, broke because I could hear the crack was so loud. But and then I also thought something else, but because we're eating, I won't say anything. I didn't know, because my leg is behind me, and I'm just like not wanting to move. And then while I'm screaming this guy's name, kind of taking a little bit of break in between, I'm like, let me just readjust my foot. I was gonna try to roll over on my back, and I couldn't. And I thought, wow, this thing is kind of jostling around, like it's not right. I've sprained that ankle at least 10 or more times in my life, and that ain't right. So, he finally hears me. When he sees me, he didn't hear me, he saw me. And he thought I was taking pictures of mushrooms or something, like I was down on all fours. So he finally comes down. He slips on the way, doesn't fall, thank God. I was gonna tell him to be careful, but I'm like, if I'm on the floor screaming and crying, I'm probably fell, right? So anyway, he slips, doesn't fall. He comes to me and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a nightmare. I don't know if it's sprained, I don't know if it's broken, because that crack could have been like a ligament. Anyway, I tell him get on this side of me, which is the non-injured side, and maybe, you know, I could use that strength to pull up. So he goes behind me to get over there, kicks the hurt foot, and I'm screaming again, because that hurt. I don't remember the break hurting so much. Honestly, I just think it was like a whole mental thing for me. He helps me up, and I cannot move the foot. It's my right foot. I can't move it. So I'm trying to think, how am I gonna get up this incline? Because it was probably 50 feet or more. And so I ended up putting my foot flat on the ground, and I thought, okay, that does not hurt. But if I move it this way or up and down, it hurt. So I pretty much flat-footed it all the way up. Got in the car. He drove us back to the bed and breakfast across the street was the doctor's office. He looks at it, he's like, we don't have x-ray here on today, so you can go to Letterkenny Hospital in Letterkenny, which is an hour away. But don't go today because of the hurricane. It's a long drive. Y'all, an hour drive is nothing for us. But to his point, he was like, if debris falls on the roads are so narrow, there's no shoulder, you'd be stuck. So he's like, just wait. And I said, well, if it's broke, will it get worse if I wait? He said, no. So we waited. I was laid up in bed. Next day, drove to Letterkenny, got an x-ray. Boom. Yep. You're broke. Okay. So I broke my right ankle. I broke, I don't know if it was 2 bones on the right or broke it in 2 places on the right and 1 on the left. So my right ankle was broken on both sides, and they wanted to do surgery, obviously. I didn't want them to do surgery because I was not in the United States. So they're like, well, okay, why don't we set it to get it in a good position, put a soft cast on it so you can fly home and you can have surgery there. And I'm like, okay. But when you say set it, are you going to put me to sleep? I have a weak stomach, y'all. And they're like, yes. So they get me in this room. The lady puts a big old bruise on me because she tried to do a IV right here for some reason. Anyway, while they're doing that, they end up put the IV over here. But I said, you're going to put me to sleep. Like, I reminded them they were going to put me to sleep. And they said, well, you'll be awake, but you won't remember it. And y'all, I lost it. I started crying. I was so afraid, like scared. Like, I don't know how a woman can have a cesarean, like literally be awake while they take a baby out of them. Like, ugh. I don't know how you do it. Whataburger's tea is good. So they're like, ma'am, just calm down. You'll be okay. We do this all the time. We're really good at what we do. Trust us. And they're real sympathetic and sweet people. And I'm like, you don't understand. It's not you I don't trust. It's me. Like, I cannot take this. I can't be awake. I can't handle it. You've got to put me out. So I did that a bit. The person I was with has since left. So I had no support, none. I think I told my, I didn't even tell my kids yet because I hadn't known what was happening. And then when I found out it was broken, I didn't really have time because then they put me in this room. They're like ready to pop my bones and stuff. So I figured, well, I'd tell them later. So I had nobody. I didn't tell anyone. And so that feeling of being like you're going to be awake while they set your ankle and then you're by yourself, it was horrible for me. But at some point, I just remember seeing these, like, it was almost like a wormhole, but it was vertical instead of this way. And it was like these curtains of magenta and purple and pink that were like just colors like this thick, just moving, you know what I mean, in motion, slow motion. And I felt so warm. And I was like, you know, like it was beautiful. And then I slowly started waking up and coming out of it. And I wanted to stay in that state. But I don't know what happened. But next thing I knew, I woke up. Finally came to. I had a cast on my foot. And the cast went from below the knee all the way to the foot. So they set it. And that's some good stuff they gave me. Thank you, Jesus. So they admit me to stay overnight so they can monitor me. And I don't see the person I'm traveling with till the next day when it's time to go home. I told him to go have fun and enjoy his trip, but he could since everything was relatively close, and then just come back for me. I want him to do the same thing. And keep in mind, this guy is a travel buddy. He's not my boyfriend. He has no interest in me as far as my well-being. So the whole trip was pretty much, you do your thing, I do my thing. So we did things together, but yeah, I had no comforting at all from him. So don't be a hater. Don't be mad at him if you even care that he just took off, because that's what I wanted him to do. But anyway, while I'm in the hospital, they're saying, okay, what you need to do is you need to contact, and he was there at this point, but they were like, you need to call the airline so they understand you have a soft cast on, because if it was a hard cast, I wouldn't be able to fly because of swelling. They'd have to cut the cast off for no room to expand. So they're like, call the airline so they know, and they have transportation ready for you. And call the airport so they can transport you to and from the car shuttle place and all that. So he said he'd do it. And then I texted him later, I was like, did you do it? He said, and all it is a link with the phone number. I'm like, what is this? He said, that's the number to the airline. If you can't get anyone there, figure it out, let me know. I'm not doing anything anyway. And I'm like, Mother Hubbard, I didn't need you to do anything but that. I'm laid up in the hospital, emotional. Like, I might as well have been some pregnant woman on steroids, or I don't know. I was so emotional. Like, I go through these phases where I'm okay, and then it's just like, this rush of feeling. It's just like I'm alone. I'm so alone, and I'm broken. I just want to go home. And I'm like, that's all I asked you to do. That's all I needed you to do. And for you to say I'm not doing anything anyway, why the hell didn't you do it when you said you'd do it? So, of course, I take it upon myself to do it. My phone wasn't on. It wasn't activated for cellular service, but I had it activated to do all this. And that's when I reached out to my family and told them all. And so I was supposed to fly back Thursday. So they let me out. This happened on Monday. I went to the hospital on Tuesday, stayed the night, left Wednesday, and that way we'd stay the night Wednesday night and be close to Dublin for our flight out Thursday morning. I went online, like they said, to request help. The airport was perfect, but the airline was like, we don't make special arrangements for you, because the hospital said they'll put you in a place where you could prop your foot up, because they get this all the time. I'm like, okay. They're like, you're no different than anybody else who pays the same price. I'm like, wow, you got some good customer service skills. Like, doctors have bedside manner, or don't. They didn't. And then they're like, oh, well, you can't fly. I'm like, yeah, I can. They're like, well, did you fill out the request? I said, I did. Well, did the doctor fill out the form? I said, the doctor didn't fill out a form. I submitted this before I was discharged. And they said, if I hand you this letter, you'd be good. They're like, no, they gotta do a form. And you're not gonna be able to fly out today. Y'all, I had my luggage, 2 luggages. I was in a wheelchair, and I have a travel partner who's gonna leave no matter what, because he has to work that next day, which I did too. But guess what? So then I'm really freaking out. I'm gonna be at an airport, disabled, with no help. So I told him, you have to let me fly. And I was explaining the cast as a soft cast and how it could be cut if needed. And I'm like, I'm calling the hospital, and then he's like, okay, well, let me try to call the doctor and see if I can get approval over the phone. And so he finally comes back 45 minutes before the flight leaves and says he got the okay, but the connecting flight is a different airline, so he's going to make sure they're okay with it first as well. Y'all, it was unnecessary stress. If he would just said, you know what, let me call and see if I can do something, instead of saying, no, you can't, butthole. Anyway, long story short, I fly home. I get home Thursday night. My beautiful daughter picks me up, has sushi ready for me. She takes me and has already made an appointment for me with the ortho doctor on Friday morning. They scheduled surgery for Tuesday. So I had my ankle broken for over a week before they operated. And I had to have a plate and pins or whatever, plate and screws on the right side of the ankle, because that's where the 2 breaks were. And then 2 screws on the left side of the ankle. So, after the surgery, 6 weeks, no pressure. No pressure on the foot at all. And I'm following the doctor's orders because I don't have the stomach to tolerate another break. I really don't. So, for nearly 2 months, I did not use my right foot. I could not drive. So my mom came, she's retired, so she came over to help me and care for me, which was a true blessing. And when she was here, I kind of realized, well, I bought an e-scooter, which is a blessing. And so I was like, with that and the crutches, I can get around. So I was like, if you want, after my follow-up appointment, because after 2 weeks after the surgery, I had to go in to get the, I'll just say follow-up done. I was like, if you could stay at least till then, because a drive is an hour to the doctor. And since I couldn't drive, it'd be good. And then after that, I'll go back to work, and then someone can take me to work and back. But she wanted to stay until my last appointment, which is a Monday after last, which they said, okay, you can start walking now. So, this coming Monday would be 2 weeks that I've been able to walk. So, a little over a week and a half now. I tried to walk with a boot, no pain, but it was kind of restrictive. It was hurting my knee. And then the boot was like this much higher than my other foot, so it was jacking up my hips. I'm like, well, let me try to put on tennis shoes, see. I did, and it was fine. So yeah, I walk with a limp because my full range of motion is not there. So when I'm taking that step with my left foot, my back foot goes back, but it doesn't bend right. So it cuts my stride short, and then I go back to the other foot. So it hurts. So today I scheduled a physical therapy appointment. This morning I went and got some exercises they want me to do twice a day. I'm going to see them 2 times a week for 6 to 8 weeks, because I'm afraid to move it certain ways. I know it's healing or healed, but I don't want to pop it, like force it, if I'm not supposed to. So that's where I'm at. I walked with crutches for a few days, and then I used 1 crutch, and I ditched that probably Saturday night. Maybe it was the first day I went walking around. Monday was the first day I went to work without a crutch at all. So no crutches, but I have a limp, but mainly because I don't have the flexibility yet. So I'm working on getting that back. And the other thing, the stupid rental house, when I got back, I'm like, there's no way I can show the house because I'm broke. I can't even drive to it. Let's just show it. And I didn't want to deal with any of these pain in the butt people because of my mood or my situations, right? So I called my realtor. I said, how much can I sell it for? She gave me a number. I'm like, all right, well, let's list it. And because I was thinking I can't show it for a couple months till I can walk anyway. So let's see if I can sell it. If I can, great. I'll break even, call it a stupid waste of time opportunity. And then, but I said the price she listed, I said I can't go any lower than that. So if you list it for that, tell them no if they offer anything less. So she said, how about, and she bumped it up 5,000 more. I said, okay, that's fine. That or the other one, but that you know my number. She's like, okay, y'all. Second day on the market, full asking offer. So then we're going through some stuff like, you know, while I'm broken, can't do anything anyway. I'm just sitting there, so I'm happy it's gonna sell. Then I surveyed, it appraised. Appraised exactly for the sale price, the figure. Blessing. And I ended up, finally, it took longer than anticipated, but today, Friday, at 2 o'clock, I signed the paperwork to get the money. Boom. So, that's the recap. That was my life. I could have done plenty of videos while I was laid up, but my mom was here. I don't really talk about this channel, really, so, you know, she might think it was weird, and it was, I just didn't want to, so I thought, well, let me wait until she leaves. When she left Sunday morning, and man, I went through some withdrawals. Like, I miss my mom. I miss that company. Now I got to get used to, I loved my life, you know, like going and playing poker and doing what I want when I want. I met a guy. I kind of like him. I'm trying to get to know him. And because all this stuff, it's kind of hard to really get to know someone. And he came over and met my mom. I didn't really want him to, but the only way we were going to be able to get to know each other is if we saw it, if he came over. So, but now that she's officially gone, we're going to officially date and see where it goes. And I'm saying prayer because I have issues. I have rejection and abandonment issues, and I overreact. You know, I just do. So I got to figure out how to not get upset when I don't get a response that I'm expecting, because we don't always, and it doesn't mean anything. I just take it to the extreme. Anyway, so that is my life for the last 2-3 months. And I missed you guys, and I know some of you missed me. Did you miss the burps? Or you hated the burps? I don't know. It's always one of these with you guys. So, I miss y'all. And for those of you who reached out to me and expressed your sincerity and your concern for me, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. I appreciate it. Just saying, hey, where are you? I missed you. It made all the videos that I do worthwhile. It made letting you in my life, whether it's a vulnerable moment or an exciting moment or whatever, it made it all worth it. So, thank you. And for those of you who didn't notice I was gone and you're subscribing and watching, thanks for sticking around. I'm really, really sorry that I've kind of been off the grid for a little while. So I have been on Instagram and on Snapchat. So people have checked in with me through there. So if you're not following me there, you get a little bit more of my life than you do on these videos. More so on Instagram. Facebook account, it's linked below. I'm not using it. My P.O. box, I let it slide because I couldn't get to it to renew. So I no longer have a P.O. box. So I'll try to remove that from the description. But that's it. So everyone, I will try to do another video soon. Christmas is coming up. I may not get to another video before Christmas, in which case I hope you all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You will hear from me before the New Year, full shout, okay? But thank you again from the bottom of my heart for all your support. Love you guys, and Chloe says hi. She does. She's missed you. She really has. So anyway, please leave a comment. I want to hear from you, and if you're new, let me know. Subscribe if you're not already. Like it if you haven't. And there's a little bell next to the word subscribe. If you have clicked it, it'll have like these little marks, you know, and that'll alert you whenever I do upload a video if you want to know when it happens. So click on that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great weekend. Bye, y'all.